The original LG G Watch was clearly first generation hardware, but still had its fans and attractions. And indeed, Android Wear and its firmware has continued to improve. But we now have second generation hardware from LG, and not to put too fine a point on it, the G Watch R is something of a disaster of a design. The point is perhaps made by looking at the G Watch R next to its predecessor. Yes, the new R for round design looks more like a traditional sports watch, but the older design looks more futuristic and, to be honest, a lot better fit for displaying Android notification information. Aside from pure cosmetics, there really was no reason whatsoever to use a circular interface. Although there are some plus points for the R revision, the reimagined G Watch here isn't exactly a leap forward for a number of reasons. Number one, the watch is much larger in every dimension than the original G Watch. I thought smartwatches were supposed to be getting smaller and thinner. Despite the G Watch R being much larger than the original, the screen is smaller and shows quite a bit less information, some with edges chopped off, as here, thanks to the circular design. The stopwatch bezel here is purely cosmetic, i.e. it doesn't rotate and is massive. The reason for its existence is something of a mystery. I'd first thought the display is really square from the specs with a circular viewport. However, press shots from the watch's launch do show the screen to be circular, with electronics above and below, again prompting the question, why the heck the huge circular bezel? I just fashion? The display stats are also interesting in a disappointing way, and it's higher resolution but physically quite a bit smaller than the original G Watches. The supplied strap is quite cheap leather, so it crinkles and cracks immediately. It's definitely not fully waterproof. Leather rarely is, of course, and it feels rather cheap in the hand compared to the silicone version on the original. To be fair, that's a subjective opinion for me. It's easy enough to buy and install a standard replacement strap, but for this premium product, for LG to have skimped on the strap quality is rather criminal. Bearing in mind all these points, the LG G Watch R is far too expensive, at well over £200 in the UK. This is into serious money territory, whereas the sweet spot for mass market adoption of smartwatches is around the £100, $100 mark, I think. I offered the G Watch R for £99, and I think it would take off. At the current price, and bearing in mind some of my comments here, this Android accessory hasn't got a chance. Of course, it's not all bad news. You must be getting something for your money. The screen technology has been switched to AMOLED, meaning that true always-on display can be achieved by default minimal variant on the watch face chosen by the user. This works really well and avoids having to either have the watch screen on normally all the time or off completely until tapped or the right movement is detected, as on the original G Watch. Also new and working well, you'll have seen me pressing it, is this crown on the right hand side, placed where a winding movement would be on a traditional watch. Here it turns the display on fully, or minimises it again, or when long pressed brings up the elusive Android Wear settings menu, which is a very handy shortcut. Kudos to LG for the heart rate sensor built into the G Watch R's back. This uses a green LED and detector to look for pulses in blood flow beneath the skin of your wrist, and the resulting 10-second or so reading seems to be pretty accurate. As more Android applications are written to take advantage of the stats reported by the smartwatch, the extra sensor could be really useful and will certainly save you buying an extra heart rate sensor belt, for example. The latest Android Wear firmware does seem to pull in better battery life overall. I was easily getting 2 days of real-world use from the G Watch R. Ditto the original, by the way, with sensible brightness settings and latest firmware. As with the original LG G Watch, there's no ambient light sensor, so you have to compromise on a brightness setting that will work for you in both daylight and at night, which can be awkward, especially in the middle of the night or at the cinema. Are the innovations here enough to save the LG G Watch R overall? Well, not really, and especially not at this price. It really is a case of 1 step forward and 2 steps back, or 3 forwards and 6 back, depending on how you're counting. Oh yes, and I changed the watch face, just for you. When the original G Watch appeared, I declared I saw the idea as the future of wearables, even if the current implementation wasn't perfect. And I'm still of this opinion. In fact, even more so with this rather monstrous and expensive appendage. Look, LG, just take the original G Watch design and the nice silicone strap, make the display AMOLED, take the R's heart rate sensor, and then most of all use mass market economics to bring the cost down to £99 in the shops. And then we'd see LG's smartwatch take off. Then we'd see people wearing these things on buses and trains and in cars. The future awaits LG and Android Wear, but it's not there yet.